Well, Cole Palmer on the score sheet, obviously, but 2 for Nicolas Jackson, the much maligned Nicolas Jackson. Now, his numbers haven't been too bad, but really we've focused, when we've covered it, on the chances that he's missed, even though, Righty, you've seen the potential in him from early on.
Yeah. But when you watch him, excuse me, when you watch him and you see the capabilities, that's what you judge them. You judge them on, obviously, goal scoring. But when you watch what else they do,
the tools he's got.
Thank you. Yeah. When you see that, then you feel to yourself, well, when you see him finishing, you think, well, he could have done that. He could have done this better. Yeah. And this is why I remember a while back at Kells, I said, depending on his personality and what he's capable of, if he's working at that, he will be a problem for people because he's got pace, he's got link-up play. So good finish from him the other day. I thought West Ham were very poor, by the way. But a good finish from that. If he gets the right coaching around him, he could become prolific.
What's the biggest asset he needs? Is that the mindset?
It's the mindset when you get in there. It's something that, you know, you mentioned, like I always make, at the moment, I mentioned Harry Kane, Robbie Fowler. When them people get in the box or in and around the box, it's all about the basics right. You know what I mean? He's got flair, obviously he's got flair, but them guys have got a certain amount of flair when they're finishing. But it's the basics are very, very high up in what they're doing. They go back to the basics and they finish clinically. If he gets that in his game where if I'm here, I've got to make sure I hit it over there because the goalie's doing it, he's got to go into that mindset of striking so as then he'll become so clinical and with his pace and with his link-up plays, set up a goal for him as well. You know, Chelsea made, you know, yes, I can understand a 9-year contract now.
I remember when I was there and we talked about him, and I remember saying at the time that he reminded me a lot of Nicolas Anelka in his first season. He was alongside, I think Henry was still at the club, and people were looking unfavourably at Anelka, but you could see he had the tools, like you say, and he turned out to be fantastic for the club. Jackson, the best thing that happened for him, I think, this summer was that they didn't sign Osimhen. Yes. Because had they done that, they would have invested everything into him and he would have been sidelined. But now he's got that burden on his shoulders.
They really ain't money left, did they?
Well, that's true.
That is a good shout. It's a very good point.
But he does, and he's now got the confidence of the club.
Exactly what happens. When you ain't got someone over your shoulder like that, Kells, you feel like, OK, the next chance I miss doesn't mean I'm gonna be left out the team. Yeah. And then just like when you are scoring, the next chance you score, it gives you more confidence.
Nkunku comes on at Bournemouth, scores the winner. You know, you think during the week he would have knocked on the manager's door and said, look, I've turned the game. Jadon Sancho started. He come on and done brilliant against Bournemouth. He starts against West Ham. Now Nkunku. I wondered if he just knocked on his door and said, do I deserve a start? I've come on, I've scored the winner for you. But no, he's stuck with Jackson. Gives a massive confidence boost to Jackson. And then when he looks around at Nkunku, I'm not saying he did knock on his door, but he probably said, that's why. That's why. This boy now is growing in stature. You know, he has got the attributes, like the boy said. You can't continue liking players to Didier Drogba. You know, he was a one-off at that club. Yeah, but someone needs to come and take the mantle. I think the confidence he's been given by this manager, the chances what he's being created by Cole Palmer and the like, I think he will score a lot of goals. You know, we never give him the credit what he deserves. You have a look at his goal-scoring record. I mean, what's he got now in the Premier League? I mean, he's scoring goals. He's up there in the charts. You're not going to catch Haaland. No one's going to catch Haaland unless something drastic happens to him. But he's up there with everyone else in the Premier League. 18
he's
in the
doing
Premier
really
League.
in terms of goals from open play as well. If you take penalties out of it, he's even more competitive in terms of the number of goals that he's scored. I think it's only Haaland from open play who's got more than him since May last season, I think it is. But it's been really good for him. Like 40 appearances, 18 goals. That's not too bad. We've pretty much won every other game, and 7 assists in there. And maybe what's most encouraging is that it feels like it's improving. It's not. He's not been standing still.
Yeah, but this is the thing, Kels. This is why it's very silly and naive to condemn a striker and say, oh, he's this and he's that. When you see him come to this league and miss a few chances and he's a little bit erratic, and you have to give a striker time because, not like defenders, not like midfielders, a striker can turn it like on its head. Could turn it on its head. You know, defenders, if they make mistakes, they're scrutinised for mistakes they may make, so they get nervous. You know, midfielders, you know what I mean? They get the same criticism. Oh, if they're not looking right, if they're not passing quick, if they don't turn and pass quick enough, they get that stick and say, oh, they're not used to the Premier League. A striker, you can be up there, you could be playing poorly, but finishing well, and people will give you the opportunity to keep going.
What I like about those goals is that they weren't tap-ins from close range. He had time to home in on goal, and he had to think about it, make the right decision, and both times he made the right decision.
Point.
The second goal with the outside the right foot, even better than the first, and you could see the confidence kind of coursing through.